So 5 years ago, the Star Wars franchise was changed forever with Disney Wars: The Rise of Palpatine. That was 2019. So it's about 6 years ago. I didn't see it on the big screen. I was never going to see it. The last turd was the last straw for me. After what they did to Luke Skywalker, the film was terrible on its own, but the decharacterization of Luke Skywalker is unforgivable. Doesn't even matter what happens with the Mandalorian finale. It was great, but they haven't done anything with him since, and they're not going to. And since the Rise of Palpatine, don't get me wrong, those movies made money, but they all sucked. It started with Disney Wars 7, rinse and repeat, Death Star 3, another stupid sand planet, another kid growing up on the desert planet, another freaking rebellion against the new Empire 2.0 again. The big ass spear shaped planet that blows up the same exact way the original Death Star blew up twice. And now we have this basically what it looks like is a glorified television film, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Which personally, I like The Mandalorian when it was on TV. I don't think it needs to be on the big screen. Mandalorian, he's just not the type of character you put on the big screen. He barely says 2 words in his own show. His character was never really that deep in the show because week to week episodes, week to week adventures with the kid, and putting him on the big screen like, oh, it's going to draw in the crowd, sure, but let's say, what is he really going to do? Like, how many times can we do the same? We got to run from the Empire type of crap over and over again. This is really repetitive. I'm just like, at this point, I kind of wish that we could. I kind of wish that we could just get away from the original trilogy era, get away from the prequels, get away from Disney Wars, go into the Old Republic, the actual Old Republic, not that acolyte crap where they were making stuff up out of the field. That show was terrible. But we go into the Old Republic, dive into the Sith lore, dive into the Jedi lore. You could probably get something unique. Like growing up with the expanded universe like I did. I never really cared much for knowing every little detail about everybody and their pet dog, which is why I'm not really crazy about the Andor show. I get what they were trying to go for. I like the concept of average people in Star Wars. It's fine. No problem with that. The story, on the other hand, it's rinse and repeat, which is my problem. I don't need to know every little bleep and detail. But like the problem with the Mandalorian on the big screen, it's like I was saying, he's not really a deep character. And if you've never seen the show on Disney Plus, you're going to be confused. I'm like, well, what's Yoda doing on his shoulder? Running around with him the entire time. So I was like, I don't understand. I'm going to go from 6 years later after Rise of Palpatine, and the first movie they put out is about a dude who wears a helmet and barely says 2 words versus another character who doesn't even talk. So let's go through this trailer here. It's 1 minute, so it shouldn't take long. Okay, pause. This is the Razor Crest, I think. Pretty sure that was blown to bits in the TV show. This is what I'm talking about. He had the Naboo Starfighter in one of the earlier seasons, season 2 or 3, and he built it on Tatooine. with that crazy mechanic chick. And now he's got this back again. See what I mean? This type of stuff, just leave it on TV. Leave it on TV. They're just so desperate now. Put something out there, and I'm not even thinking about how confusing it's going to be. See what I mean? And we're still doing the Empire stuff. Look, we're still doing freaking stormtroopers in the Empire for all this time. Oh my. This is why I'm so grateful for the expanding universe. Like, my God, man. How many freaking times are we going to do the Rebellion versus the Empire plot? How many times? Ugh. And the only reason they're calling it Mandalorian and Grogu is so they can sell toys. And listen, I got no problem with Sigourney Weaver in Star Wars, but can we give these freaking actors some freaking alien makeup or something? Why we always got these regular ass people running around Star Wars now? Where are the freaking aliens? Where? Ugh. Like, make her a Twi'lek, make her a Zabrak, make her a freaking bounty hunter. Why is this regular ass Sigourney Weaver in Star Wars? Because now you're just pulling out big names out of your ass because you want to sell tickets. Sigourney Weaver's popular. Back in the days of Aliens and Ghostbusters, maybe. I'm like, give her some makeup, make her a Twi'lek, make her an alien, something. God, man. Like I was saying for years, the creativity is gone. Gone. Like, the most you'll get is from the new video games like Survivor and Fallen Order or Star Wars Outlaws. Like, the freaking movies, it's rinse and repeat. Because Empress KK keeps hiring all these dumbasses. Don't know how to write for shit. Jar Jar Abrams, Roundhead. Then you bring Jar Jar Abrams back, and he's just that again. Twice in the same trilogy. And before that, he ruined Star Trek too, with the Wrath of Khan remake. And before that, the Star Trek film that felt like Star Wars, because he really wanted to make Star Wars. Then the Star Wars film he made was a freaking retread of shit everybody's seen 100 times. And now I get this regular Sigourney Weaver, no makeup, no alien disguise, nothing. Just a regular person. I'm just getting really sick and tired of all these regular ass humans in Star Wars. Like, remember the cantina scene in the original film? All these aliens sitting around in the bar. Like, I miss those days. Now it's just regular celebrities showing up out of nowhere. Just looking like regular ass people. Pathetic. It's like, you notice this right here? This is what's going to sell the tickets. Sigourney Weaver in the title, right here in the trailer. Pedro Pascal. I wouldn't know this was Star Wars if I had just tuned in for the first time. So she was in one of the. I don't think she was in the new Ghostbusters movies, but looks like she's probably a billion maybe. This patch on her shoulder, but I was like, where are the aliens? Where? We can't seem to get them in these new Star Wars projects these days. I don't understand why. You know, there was a time in the LucasArts days of like KOTOR and Force Unleashed, where every single alien on screen spoke with subtitles. They didn't speak like my next door neighbor, freaking English and everything. I'm like, every single alien had subtitles when they spoke. It's like listening to a Wookiee talk English or something. It's just as boring. But this looks cool. We could have easily just put this as a Disney Plus movie, but like, okay, who's that? That might be, I think that's Zeb or something, whatever his name is, from the Space Aladdin show. The same species. No idea if that's actually him. He didn't show up in the Ahsoka show. Could be him. Could be another character in that species. But like, look, an alien. An alien in Star Wars? No way. You never know that watching the Andor show. I'll tell you that. Nothing but boring ass humans in that show. Boring. Now I'm getting a little tired of seeing the Empire all the freaking time. These things shouldn't even be operational at this point in the timeline. Imperial walkers shouldn't be operational at this point. The Emperor is long gone. There ain't nobody around that would be able to send these things even to a planet or whatever, you know? Like without the Emperor, the freaking Empire basically fell into disarray. In the expanded universe, there was just the Imperial remnant. You know, there's a bunch of Imperial camps stretch across the galaxy. Like you'll see stormtroopers or whatever. There's no big boss anymore after the Emperor died. And Vader was gone too. So without Emperor and Vader, there's no real reason for us to be seeing Imperial walkers running around. There's no reason for it. It might just be my 2 cents, but I just think it's kind of lazy at this point to. I think it's kind of lazy on their part. And somehow the Razor Crest returned. Grogu leaving with Luke should have been the end of this involvement with the show. I agree. It was like they should have left him with Luke. Although, looking at what Luke becomes in Disney Wars, maybe not. It's apparent Luke is so incompetent now with the roundhead Telva writing that he can't even train a freaking Generation of Jedi. Which is only his only purpose, by the way. The only reason Kenobi and Yoda were hiding out all that time, but waiting for him to grow up and do what they couldn't do. Luke is supposed to be the best of all the Jedi. All. In the expanded universe, he's a Jedi Grand Master. Which is basically the entire council combined. The best part of the council. Like Mace Windu, Yoda, Kenobi, Plo Koon, like all of them combined. That's what Luke is in the expanded universe. In Disney Wars, he's a failure. Kenobi is a failure too in his own show. Like, you can barely protect what's her name? Little tiny Leia. It just comes down to the fact that Lucasfilm was just scared. They're still scared to do anything beyond the original trilogy. The first Star Wars movie in 7 years. Oh, 7 years. Oh, God. And it's just an extended episode of a TV show, basically. I mean, there's nothing really new about this. Half of this we've probably seen in the show. This could have just been season 4. I don't really get what the point of putting this on the big screen is. They're not going to have the John Williams score. There's not going to be an opening crawl. I guarantee. There wasn't no crawls in the TV show. There's going to be no opening crawl, no John Williams score. It's going to be a Mandalorian theme. There will be no Star Warsy theme at all for this movie. So the actual reason they go to see this will not exist. Pedro's back on the big screen. It's been 2 weeks without him. I might be in the minority, but I wish Tim was solo. I'm kind of over Grogu and thought the season 2 finale was a great send-off. I agree 100%. They pushed out because they wanted to sell more action figures, I guess. They didn't have the balls to just say, hey, let's send the kid off and maybe have a reunion down the line, but then have more solo adventures because he's a freaking bounty hunter. Instead, they pushed out and turned into a freaking babysitting show. It was boring. I agree with you. By now, Din and Grogu's relationship is nothing but fan service and looks stupid. Agreed. Like, it doesn't look like the story is evolving. Grogu will never grow up. Yeah, the kid's 50 years old and still doesn't talk. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. It's freaking stupid. Yoda said he was training Jedi for 900 years. Don't you think he would be talking by like 50 or something? Good God, man. So lazy. Then will never have a proper motivation for himself besides protecting Grogu. Exactly. That's why I say he's such a one-dimensional character. And that type of one-dimensional characters don't belong on the big screen. They just don't. This character was designed for television, and that's where he should stay. Yeah. I don't think the current people at Lucasfilm know what bounty hunters are, because this guy isn't a freaking bounty hunter. He's a freaking babysitter. They're going to do the same thing with that Starfighter movie, whatever it's called. It's a boring ass looking Ryan Gosling. I'm like, yeah. I got to pass on that one too. Right? There were 5 words spoken during the trailer. It's just a trailer, but the point is, Mandalorian doesn't say that much in the show. And then you make a movie about the guy. Probably going to be the same thing. Like, it's, yeah, I'm getting mixed signals from this one. It has that Disney Plus look. Yeah. Because it's where it belongs. This show started on Disney Plus. This character was designed for episodic content, not the silver screen. Remember when a new Star Wars movie felt like a cultural event and not just more content? And when was that? During the prequel era? Hasn't been done like that since then. Even Disney War 7 was an event, but the movie sucks. So it's given this could have been an email / TV show vibes. Should have just stayed on TV. I know Star Wars belongs on the big screen, but it depends on the characters because again, Mando is just not he's not that character. If you haven't been watching the TV show, you're just gonna be confused. I can't really say I'm really excited per se about this. Star Wars, I guess. But I mean, I don't even know what Star Wars is as far as film these days. The franchise is so derailed at this point. I don't even know what there is to be excited about. Aside from maybe more uh, Star Wars games, and that's really my department. Fallen Order, Survivor, Outlaws, Squadron, Republic Commando, Rush Unleashed, KOTOR. All those games I grew up with in the newer game as well. LucasArts days. Back when Star Wars was actually fun, because you had a crap ton of games coming out back then. Now you're lucky to get one per year. And the movies are just complete trash. Rogue Zero was terrible. I haven't bothered with the Andor show. I just I don't know what it is about that show. Yeah. Is this just going to be a feature length episode of The Mandalorian? Might as well. Which part did Island Ripley go through to get here? I don't know. It looks kind of boring. Well, not boring, but like I'm kind of tired of the Grogu kid at this point. Like, can we just get a character that doesn't have a freaking sidekick, please? Jesus. Like they did in Kenobi, they did in freaking Ahsoka with Sabine's crazy ass. Like, can you get a freaking Star Wars character without a sidekick, please? Damn. Just it's like I'll always be grateful for the expanding universe. That's where I grew up with Star Wars. That's the way I grew up with Star Wars was from the EU. Like Legacy of the Force, the Thrawn trilogy, KOTOR, Darth Bane trilogy. I think it was trilogy. There was a couple of Darth Bane books back in the day. Kyle Katarn and Jan Order are the actual are the characters that went after the Death Star plans originally. So when I really think about it, Rogue Zero was just a rip off of that called Dark Forces. So they just basically ripped off that story like everything else. So the whole thing with Disney was rinse and repeat. That's been the entire theme. That's been the theme for like the last couple of at least this has been at least 10 years since Lucas sold the franchise to Mickey Mouse. It's been at least 10 years. And the movies have been shit. TV shows could be better. I mean, the story was okay, I guess. Mandalorian's probably the best show they've made, at least to me. First two seasons, great. Season two was a little bit of a cameo fest, I'll admit. The Luke scene was fantastic, but they didn't do anything with him after that. They had a great set. They could have had Luke appear in season three for a couple episodes. Maybe not with Mando going to see the kid, but get a glimpse of Luke's academy or something. And they did that, I think, in the Boba Fett show or something. I didn't bother watching that either because what if it's only been a shitty character? I never understood that character's popularity either. I don't get it. Like, he doesn't say a damn thing in Empire. And then he goes out like cartoon character in Return of the Jedi. Or the end of the first act. Character's a joke. I'm like, oh my god, Boba Fett's so awesome. Like, what does he do? It's so awesome. No one can answer that question. What does he do? It's so awesome. Like I say the same thing about Andor. Like, what does this guy do that makes him so important all of a sudden? What does he do? What did he do in Rogue Zero that's like, oh my god, make a TV show about this guy? Why? Why? Again, I get the concept. I get the idea they're going for. I'm like, all I can say about it is just even do with a character that's not, boring. Yeah. I don't know. You could have just expanding universe guys, so I never cared much for knowing every little detail about everything. There's kind of too much content now in Star Wars, which is part of the problem. Like if you're a newcomer to the franchise, I don't know where I would start you at because you got the original trilogy. Some people think that Star Wars ended with the original trilogy, which is fine. Others, if like me, was with the Revenge of the Sith, the saga is complete, 6 films and a bunch of books and games in the expanded universe. Then you have the Clone Wars series on Cartoon Network, and it was on Disney. Cartoon Network one is better. By the way. It was darker. It was way more adult than the newer one. And you had all these live action shows and whatnot. Yeah, there's almost too much now. Now we got this stupid Darth Maul show coming out. The Tales of the Jedi one was cartoon was okay. The one with Count Dooku was awful when they ruined the idol. There's no words for that. But Kenobi show he was out of character. Kenobi would never leave a Jedi to die. Doesn't matter what's going on. He would never leave, abandon him to die. Never. Out of character. Would never do it in a million years. Just like Luke would never try to murder his freaking nephew for having a bad dream. And that Luke didn't go directly into the dark side cave back in the day. Then they went after a freaking Sith Lord for revenge. He didn't go to go find his friend. He wanted to get after Vader for what he did to Kenobi. So the whole thing about him going after his friend was a ruse. He wanted revenge for Ben Kenobi's death. That's why he went to Cloud City. That's not even a Jedi thing. Then he got his freaking arm chopped off. So he got his ass handed to him. So you don't. Then he redeemed his father. And you don't do that and then try to murder the spawn of your best friend, your sister. You just don't. There's no world. There's no world where that makes any sense. And I'm telling you, like, if Luke could actually train Rey properly, she would have been an amazing character. I kept envisioning this in my head. Luke snapping out of his depression in the last third, and then going with Rey to whatever planet that was, and mopping the floor with Kylo Ren and the Empire 2.0, whatever they're called. Master and Apprentice. That's exactly what it should have been. What was Luke doing projecting himself across the galaxy? Get your ass in the X-Wing and go over there and beat Kylo Ren's ass. Because Ren has not beaten him in a lightsaber fight. And I can go on because it's like in the expanded universe, when Darth Caedus has been his ripoff, Kylo Ren's ripoff of in the worst way. Luke goes to confront him at one point in the books. He's trying to turn Luke's actual son, Ben, a real Ben Skywalker, to the dark side. And Luke, I'm paraphrasing here, but Luke is basically like, hey, stop. I don't want to have to hurt you. Like for Luke, drawing his lightsaber is a last resort. He doesn't really need it all the time. So like basically, that's one of the reasons why he didn't have his lightsaber in Return of the Jedi in Jabba's palace. Because like Luke goes in that palace with his lightsaber drawn, he's the only one walking out. That's how prideful he is. That's why he's like he tried to do it peacefully, but you know how it goes. He's a Skywalker after all. But yeah, Disney Lucasfilm just I think they just shot the bed too many times at this point. I'm not saying they can't be redeemed or anything. It's not going to be with this movie. That's what I'm saying. They can try. I'm sure it'll make money. You know, it's Star Wars, I guess. So it'll make something in the box office. But it's not going to, I don't think it's going to change anything. Not for me. It's kind of over at this point. It's like, what? You can't bring Luke back. Luke's gone. Han is gone. Carrie Fisher passed away. And you can recast, I suppose. I'm kind of down for that, actually. But the guy they got for that season 2 finale looked just like Mark Hamill. So I'm down for a recast for sure. Do what you gotta do to keep these stories going. Like what they should have done was have the original actors shoot films back to back and then release them in between the saga films, or like short stories or something. Something like couple of like Legacy of the Force type stuff. And then keep the saga stories going. I would have recast the original trilogy characters for 7, 8, and 9 to keep the stories fresh because they had too much time passed between the original trilogy and the Disney Wars trilogy, if you want to call it that. If you had recast, I know that people would have started crying about it, but if you had just recast the original trilogy characters and then kept the original actors in the spin-off movies set in between, release them in between the saga films, you could still have the best of both worlds. That way, we wouldn't have to waste these characters, never have them be reunited, and completely waste them. Like one back to back. I don't even know if is Lando even alive. I don't even know if Lando survived. I'm pretty sure that Ray killed Chewbacca or something. He blew up that ship he was in or something. I don't remember. I'm like, she killed Chewbacca. All this crap. Let the past die. And why is the Millennium Falcon still around then? Oh right, because you got to sell action figures, right? You got to sell action figures. Of course, the Millennium Falcon still exists. And I'm just like, I'm kind of done with them. I've been done with Disney Wars for a while now. And, this is part of the reason why I've always fallen back in the expanding universe because, at the end of the day, I don't give two freaks about Disney Wars anymore. I'm over it. Done. Been done. Give me some new games. Give me some decent comics. The Darth Vader comics are pretty good. I like the Doctor After comics. Like, give me something in the Old Republic, like thousands of years before any of this stuff starts. Not that Acolyte crap doesn't count. So is garbage. I never made it past second episode. You just think I can't take it anymore. Whereas, like, this movie is not going to save the franchise. It's not. I'm just like, can we get some more aliens, please? I mean, when I say aliens, I mean like aliens, talking alien, not English. I'm talking like if you're gonna get big names like Sigourney Weaver, put them some freaking prosthetics or something. I'm looking at regular ass people talk all the freaking time. It's freaking boring. Just, I don't understand why we keep doing it. It's like, and they'll never hold this against George Lucas. I know why he sold it. Like at the same time, it would have been fine with them locking the friend out of the way in the vault somewhere and just having it end with Revenge of the Sith, and then I got my books and my games, and I'm satisfied. Basically, I'm satisfied with what I got. Keep the games coming, keep the all that stuff. Like I got my expanded universe collection, my bookcase. That's what I grew up on. Like I don't need any of this. It's like I don't need any of this. Like it looks okay, I suppose. I just yeah. I don't see how this is gonna change anything. Not for me. I mean, there are some people out there that just need to watch every little thing they put out. Like I'm a little bit pickier with what I watch in Star Wars these days because I'm just used to using my imagination. That's not a problem with the current state of Star Wars. Like the problem with shows like Andor is they just there's too many shows and whatnot now that just fill in every little bleeping gap. This happened between one and two. This happened between two and three. This happened with after Revenge of the Sith. This happened after Return of the Jedi. Oh, cool. Can we do something else? Like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and we're doing stories in between every freaking film with the same five characters we've seen a gazillion times. And we all say that, then we're like, oh, I want a Luke Skywalker show. Like, can we mix it up a little bit? Can we get Old Republic? Can we get something like 100 years after the original trilogy with no Skywalkers? Can we get a heist story about like a band of brothers or something? Can we get a murder mystery on Nar Shaddaa? Can we get a story like Star Wars Outlaws on the big screen? It's like Outlaws. I know a lot of people give it a bad rep, but it's a lot better than people say because Kay Vest is the exact type of person that would just be looking to get by in the galaxy. The entire story is a heist, and it's fantastic because it really takes you into the criminal underworld that we never really get to see in the big screen. They do a little bit of that in the Andor show, from what I've seen. It's cool, I guess. But that's the main aspect I kind of like about the show. The idea of it, anyway, this character, not so much. Like, give me stories like that. Like, in the expanded universe, there's stories in the Old Republic, stories in the Clone Wars, stories after Revenge of the Sith, stories after Return of the Jedi. There's books that take place immediately after the second Death Star blows up. And I read all of them. You got the Thrawn trilogy, which are after Return of the Jedi. It's different now, but I'm talking like immediately. The Death Star blows up and there's pods running to an X-wing, ready to go on another mission. Stuff like that. Now give me a Band of Brothers TV series or something like Republic Commando, set in the Old Republic, bunch of soldiers just getting by in the time of war or something. Give me a murder mystery on Nar Shaddaa, like a detective or something investigating something on Nar Shaddaa. Small stories, Not everything needs to be about the friggin' end of the world. The next Death Star again. It was like I have a audio tape of Dark Empire, which is kind of an Elseworld story because in the end of the day, Dark Empire is kind of It's kind of silly, but like I like it because it reminds you of the good old days back in the day when you could actually use your imagination and theorize what you thought was going to happen versus now where they just spoon feed you everything. People gobble it up because they got nothing else to watch. Versus someone like me, where it's like, I've got a trailer like a Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'm just like, I think I'll stick with my books and my games because I don't need this crap. I mean, kudos to people that want to might see it. I'm not saying I'm not going to see it. What was you wondering? I'm not going to watch it. I probably will for review purposes, but probably going to be right. I usually am. I'm not saying the franchise can't come back at some point. It's like at this point, it's like, well, is it too late? Too little? Too late? Because I'm kind of on the fence, but at the same time, I'm still firmly rooted in the expanding universe. I don't like change like that. It's like indoor. My problem with indoor is it's too different for me. That's the bottom line. It's too different. It's not what I'm used to. It's strange. It's a strange show. It really is. I hated Rogue Zero. Boring. Oh god. Put me to sleep. And Disney Wars sucked. All three of them were terrible. The more I think about them, like, yeah, it's just a start from the beginning. I want to look up the movie slate for Disney Wars. So we got the Mandalorian and Grogu, May 22nd, 2026. Star Wars Starfighter or something. New standalone film directed by Sean Levy, starring Ryan Gosling. May 28th, 2027. Filmed in development, quote unquote. New Jedi Order, set around 15 years after the rise of Palpatine. New Jedi Order. And the Jedi Order that Luke couldn't train. Break. Dawn of the Jedi movie, prequel film by James Mangold, will explore the earliest years of the Jedi. Okay. Mandoverse crossover? What? Directed by Dave Filoni, this film will bring together characters from the various Disney Plus Mandalorian era series. Roundhead is not getting a trilogy, thank Christ. Other potential projects: Maul Shadow Lord series. Another character that I don't understand why it's so popular. I'm gonna say a damn thing in the freaking Phantom Menace, and he gets chopped in half. And then he gets resurrected in a children's cartoon. And you got Ahsoka season two. That one's actually in development. I think the Maul series is happening with Sam Witwer. I think that's a waste of his talents because Maul is such a dumb character. Doesn't deserve a TV show for all I'm concerned. According to November 2024 reports from sources like Deadline and Dario, Lucasfilm was developing a new trilogy which could include Star Wars 10, 11, and 12. Ryan Gosling stars as a new unnamed Jedi character in the upcoming 2027 film. And why is it called Starfighter? Because if it's a Jedi, why is it called Starfighter? It's a misleading title. So I got excited. I thought it was going to be about pilots or something. Give me a film about pilots. Like, that's why I love Star Wars Squadron so much, because you get to be inside of an X-Wing or a TIE fighter. Awesome. You get to see both sides of the conflict. It actually makes you care about both sides. Something that's never really been done in the movies. This is another thing I love about Star Wars Outlaws is that they really dive into the gangs. You got different territories on every planet. Like, you can get on the good sides of all of the gangs and outlaws, SK, and what I do is I look for their vaults, I find their key cards, and I clean them out. Because they'll never suspect someone like, hey, robbing them blind. As long as you're in good standing with them, they won't even notice. I love stories like that. I'm just reminded there's a bigger galaxy out there besides the Jedi and the Sith. You know, that's my main reason for watching Star Wars is Jedi, Sith, and all the lore that's involved with it. It was the best part of KOTOR back in the day. All the lore, history. Mm. I can't say it for sure. I'm actually excited about any of these projects. Maybe Ahsoka a little bit. I'm kind of hoping we can get a Clone Wars live action miniseries with Kenobi, Skywalker, Christensen, and Rigger, respectively. That would be kind of cool. But that's what Kenobi should have been. It should have been nothing but Clone Wars flashbacks. They had them sprinkled in there. It wasn't enough for me. The entire show should have been Clone Wars flashbacks. Every single episode. Not like they wouldn't have a budget for it, so. And it's like, everybody's got their own opinion and their own state of mind when it comes to the franchise, which is cool. But for me, I'm just like, kind of over it at this point. Not moved on per se. I always love Star Wars. But for me, I'm just, like I always say, I'm just going to fall back in the universe. Books, comics, games. That's what I grew up on. That's what I'm going to stick with. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not going to watch the movies. Morons. Somebody that's going to be like, oh, he's not going to watch it. I'm like, yeah, I probably will. But I'm going to have very, very low expectations, which at this point, they're about as low as you can get.